Federal Drive is presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, proudly providing health and dental benefits to federal employees and their families. Visit GEHA.com.
The Pentagon's Independent Weapons Testing Office has pulled decades of unclassified annual reports from its public website, arguing that artificial intelligence would allow foreign adversaries to combine publicly available information into detailed assessments of U.S. military vulnerabilities. Federal News Network's Anastasia Obis joins me now with more details. Anastasia, great to have you.
Hi, Terry.
This is a really interesting development. What kind of information is in these reports?
These annual reports are kind of one of the most important elements and why the office was created 4 decades ago, which is to provide Congress and the public information about whether a weapon system works effectively in an operational environment and whether there are any safety issues with that system. DoD took down these reports in July. Their justification was that in today's information environment, open source databases, tools like automated data aggregation and AI, they're being exploited by foreign adversaries, and they're being used to compile, quote, disparate unclassified data points into highly detailed vulnerability profiles targeting U.S. critical infrastructure and defense capabilities. So I asked the Defense Department whether the decision to remove these reports was in response to something, whether something happened, whether DoD identified instances where the reports were used in this way, and they said this was a proactive measure and it was designed to strengthen its security posture.
Why are these reports so important to Congress and the public? What do they use them for?
So these reports have long been one of the few independent assessments of whether major weapon systems actually perform as promised. Congress created this office after several very high-profile weapons failures that cost service members' lives. So Congress and the public now have kind of access to this objective information on the results and implications of operational testing of each major acquisition program. The office over the last 4 decades has faced a lot of challenges, not surprisingly, both from the military services and from the defense industry, because it provides an independent assessment of whether weapons systems actually work. There's usually a classified version of this report that DoD has, but it's also required. But DoD is required to provide an unclassified report to Congress and publish it on its website.
That requirement for an annual unclassified report's been around for a while. So if this is a new problem, how does the office plan to comply with that statutory obligation?
Yeah, what they told me is that they will continue to meet its Title X statutory requirement, and I quote, in a manner that will ensure its information is properly protected. However, like I mentioned, the office is legally required to submit their annual report in a form that is unclassified and that doesn't require safeguarding or dissemination control, which just means that there can be restrictions or information, and it shouldn't be marked as controlled unclassified information or something like for official use only or have any other restrictions. But there is also another law that requires the Defense Department to make reports that it provides, that it submits to Congress, available on its website. So there have been attempts to restrict this information provided to Congress in the past. However, there has never been a time where DoD just doesn't provide a public unclassified version.
What are you hearing from members of Congress on this approach? Are they saying that it's acceptable?
DoD said that the office's director, Amy Henninger, she made the decision, and they pointed to her expertise in adversarial and counter AI technologies. And at least one senator, Elizabeth Warren, she said that hiding these reports would cost service members' lives. It would waste billions of dollars. And it also raises questions about whether Dr. Henninger intentionally misled Congress. And what Warren refers to, or what Warren was referring to, was their exchange during Henninger's confirmation hearing, where Warren asked her whether she would continue providing the public with reports that were as complete and unrestricted as possible. Here's their exchange.
One of your major tools is your annual report. Under the Biden administration, there was pressure on the testing office to hide problems through designations like controlled unclassified information. The information isn't classified, but those blank spots, blackouts in the report, keep the public in the dark about a tank that gets so hot that it burns soldiers' hands, or the risk that a pilot ejecting from an F-35 will have their neck snapped. So, Dr. Henninger, if you are confirmed, do you promise to ensure that the testing office's reports inform the public as much as possible about the problems that we need to fix in order to make sure that our weapons are safe?
Yes, Senator, to the maximum extent possible.
Okay, I will hold you to that.
Anastasia, it sounds like there are more conversations to come then.
Oh, absolutely. I asked Warren's office if she plans to seek additional information from DoD about this decision. They said they can't share anything on oversight as of right now, but I think it's a big issue that they pulled these reports, but you can still find them. The question is what's going to happen from now on.
That's Federal News Network's Anastasia Obis. Thanks for bringing us the story.
Thank you, Terry.
You can find her story at federalnewsnetwork.com.